Hello, mentors. Welcome to party one, Friendly Frankies. Let's say we play with the original rules. So we have 5 monsters. They just roll the dice, so 2 dice, and some of them did pretty poorly. So they just got 2. These monsters got 3. And this monster, let's say, rolled a 6 and a 6. So starts with a lot of candies. Let's say the trigger is 5 again, so more than 5. If you have more than 5 candies, you have to pass to the left. And let's just pretend this arrow here is the flow to the left, as in a table. So this is the starting state. And what will happen is if students are playing, well, they're just playing physically in their tables. But if not, if they're simulating that, they could use these manipulatives. They could preserve the initial state here on the left and then kind of copy it to the right and just dynamically work around with this picture just to compare the initial state and the end state. So let's simulate what happens. So most of these monsters are not rich. They don't even have 5. So they have 5 or less, of course. So they won't be giving candies anytime soon, only this one. So in the first round, everybody except these monsters realizes they'll do nothing. They'll just wait for candies if they come. So the flow to go to the next state is just passing a candy here, okay? The next round is very similar. You pass a candy here. Here something happens. So this monster here, the pink, has to think now because now has 5. So the trigger is more than 5. So still going to wait. But this has still more than 5. So it's going to pass candies. Okay, so right now here, notice that it's more fair now, the state, right? Because this has less and it's more comparable to the others. Now here what happens is all these 3 monsters stay the same. They're not passing any candies. But these 2 monsters on the bottom, they'll pass 1 candy at the same time from here to here. So, okay. And like this, the 3 things. He gets more candy during the sharing of this round. So that's what happens. Just wait. This has 6, so goes here. This has 6, so goes here. And so now it's interesting because this monster gradually gave much of its wealth. Now it's happy. It's still 5, so still plenty of candies to have. And the next round, these 2 are rich, so the wealth is going to keep flowing. So next round, you have 6, you have 6, so go here and go here. This is satisfied now, so it's become stable, this monster. This still not satisfied, so it's 2, 2, 2, so 6. So the next round, only the 3 gives, and you end up here. So what happened? Well, look, you have a lot of inequity here. You had a lot of 2, 2, 2s at 3, and a very big, large number of candies. Here you have more balance. So you have 4, you have 5, 5, 5. So all these monsters here, these 3 monsters are equal in wealth. This is decent, and unfortunately, this is still, stays poor because the wealth didn't get through. So that's one of the limitations to this just one flow system, but that it's if this monster is very far away from a rich source of lots of wealth, then possibly won't get much candy. So students can think about other parameters or ways to balance it. For example, flowing in both directions could be one way, or randomly giving it away. What happens if the trigger is 10? So when they play the next game and they say, oh, why don't we make this trigger bigger or smaller? Simulating, so just doing it in their minds. So let's simulate this with the same initial conditions. Let's say we just roll the dice and got exactly the same initial values. flow is still going to the left. You still give one candy, not two, not three, and the trigger is now 10. So what happens is this is, oh, sorry, let's just do 12. That's what we had. So what happens is round one, this happens. Now you have 11, right? Round two, this happens. Now you have 10. And that's the end of the game. So you still have some flow, but since this trigger is too high, then that's what happens. Of course, if the trigger is 3 or 4 lower numbers, then you can predict that these flows would still gonna go, and it will balance more. So this ghost monster will get candies, actually, would get new candies. Okay, so that's the introduction to the Friendly Frankies game, which is a game of, you have some good things going on there. You have some balancing and some fairness, but you still have some limitations. So in part two, kids will overcome that and get an even more fair system. Okay, see you in the next video. Goodbye.